Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Electricity is pretty important for OffGrid Life. For that reason, we will be looking at a redundant off-grid power system today. To be exact, the power system that I built and that I'm using right now. First, here is the schematics. This should give a broad overview on the system. On the top, you see 8 solar fields and a wind generator. 2 gasoline generators for backup and emergencies. In the middle is the inverters and charge controllers. I use 2 high frequency and 1 low frequency pure sine wave inverters. All of these are connected to my battery blocks with a flexible plug system. You will see that detailed later in the video. Now let's have a look at the actual system. My main battery block is packed in with some styrofoam isolation for winter. This one has 1150 ampere hours at 24 volts. My second block is made out of 2 370 ampere hours batteries, so 740 ampere hours at 24 volts. The last block is my backup block. This one has 720 ampere hours at 24 volts. Up next is the inverters. For my backup block, I'm using a 2.4 kilowatt high frequency inverter. These also allow the connection of a generator or grid power. I'm using the same for my main block. This one runs the entire house. On my secondary block, I'm using a 3.6 kilowatt low frequency inverter. This one is very good for running power tools, engines and such. Let's see how the 220 volt current from the inverters gets dispatched into the house. This here is the fuse box. Let's open it so I can show you guys. All the fuses for the house have as input a rubber cable with a standard plug. These fuses down here are the main input from the inverters. Both of them end on these multi-plug arrays. This allows me to freely choose which room or fuse I want to run on which battery block, without complex installation. It's as simple as unplugging and replugging a cable. As you can see, the output of my backup block is not wired into the system. The cables just hang loosely on the inverter until I need it. For charge controllers, I am using 60 ampere MPPTs. These models can work with 12, 24 and 48 volt systems. Here in the corner you can see the fuse boxes for the incoming solar and the charge controller for the wind generator. It's quite windy today, so after this we will see how the wind generator is doing. I will be zooming in here a bit to show some close-ups of the battery connections. To connect the inverters and charge controllers to the batteries, you need to use special DC fuses that are rated for your voltage and sized properly. Do not use AC fuses for this, as it might end up setting things on fire and causing major damage. Size your fuse for about double the expected load. This seems to be a good timing to remind people to like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content and want to keep up to date with future videos, subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks! After the DC fuse, I use highly flexible cables to connect the batteries. In the middle, I use plugs to enable the same flexibility that I have with my house fuses. This allows me to flexibly choose which charge controller or inverter I want to run on which battery block without redoing any wiring. The plugs are usually used for forklift battery connections and are rated for up to 320 amperes. Down here you can see a bit of my utility. A small 50 ampere battery charger and 2 fire extinguishers in case things were to go wrong. Here is a few pictures of my solar modules in the garden. I use different mounting techniques. Some I have on pillars at about 3 meters height. The majority are however mounted on racks. This allows me easy access for cleaning and removal of snow in winter. Today is some mild wind blowing, so let's have a look at the wind generator. To mount this 400 watt wind turbine, I utilized an existing old structure. During mild to medium wind days like today, it will produce about 50 to 100 watts at the charge controller. The blades actually spin faster than it looks in the video. This does generate some sound, but it is not loud at this turbine size. With that, I hope you all had a good time, enjoy your day and make it count.